My dad was not a farmer, but we had 30 acres and we raised cattle and hay. We all four of us children grew up working on the farm, and we learned a lot. He told us we would have dirt in our blood, that we would have the land in our veins. And I think that is partly true. You do get the dirt in your veins, you get the soil in your veins. I'm Jane Metcalf Tiernan, and I live in North Madison County, and I have about 11 acres of land along a creek, which sometimes floods. I'm very fortunate that I now have 2 greenhouses. I raise about a half an acre of outside flowers, down from 2 acres when I had children at home. I've sold at Lexington Farmers Market for 22 years, and then I started the Bluegrass Growers Only Farmers Market, and we're in year 17. I grew up in Indiana on a small farm. We always had 4 cows. My dad sold a cow, and it paid for your falls. 4 cows, you sell them at different times. 2 go to eat, and 1 you save for the next year. And he always sold a cow and paid my tuition to the university. We always had a garden, and so when I moved to go to college and got married and had a small little spot, I'd grow a few flowers and a couple of tomato plants, and I just got bigger and kept selling to the restaurant I worked at. And then I got bigger, and we bought the farm, and I got bigger still. And I got started in KSU the very first year they had the third Thursday because of some people I'd met previously in the Kentucky Women in Agriculture unit, and they said, come to this, and so we all did this, and 25 years later, we're still good buddies. Over the years, as I've started farming, I've learned to use drip irrigation. I've learned to use raised beds. I've learned more about insect control. And when you have farmers that you can talk to about this, then they understand, and it's productive because you can get other ideas from other farmers who know what they're doing also. I've been fortunate with KSU. Marion Simon has been super, super wonderful. Bill Thomas, Louis Rivers, Edwin Chavez, all these guys have been so helpful to me. They've been to my farm. Edwin helped me a lot with financial applications so that I would be able to get a hoop house, one, and then 14 years later get a second hoop house. When I sell at a farmer's market, I have to not only be able to calculate price, but I've gone to different training programs that KSU has, like the Market Ready program and many of the Third Thursday, where they teach you about the importance of making sure that you're actually making a small profit from what you sell. But I think that KSU and my involvement with KSU, and especially the Third Thursday program, I think it's been the biggest program. Most all of my friends come from the KSU group, and people I've introduced to KSU and persuaded to be in our farmers market, or introduced them to the farmers market and then brought them to KSU and the Third Thursday program. And I have 2 girls a year apart, and a boy 4 years younger than Molly, Sabrina, and Eric. And they all helped on the farm, and they worked on the farm, and I brought them to some of the KSU programs. I think it was really good for my kids to be on the farm and to work on the farm. I think they learned a lot of skills, and I think that's carried over to their adulthood. We always were growing things. I took them outside. I took them to the garden. They didn't care about pulling up dirt. They didn't care about eating worms. They didn't mind being dirty. It is difficult to budget your time because you have the nice time of the evening to put your kids to bed when they're small, and that's when you want to be outside cutting. My kids played soccer. They played tennis, and a lot of their meets were in the evening, and so that determines, because my first priority was being with my children and ensuring that I was there for parental support. They learned, and I learned, how to work around all the activities that you have. It is difficult. It takes a lot of time, and it's easier if you have people that help you support. I'm really grateful, I think, There are a lot of other people that have done a lot more farming, that are bigger than me, that have done more and that are committed to agriculture just as much as me. I think there's all kinds of women that want to see agriculture in Kentucky expand and be more productive. I think every woman that does any kind of farming or marketing wants to save her farm and find ways for the young ones coming after us.